Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to get an update on Dallas City Hall from Councilwoman Paula Blackmon. Her story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm so proud to tell people I'm from Dallas. When I'm in a meeting anywhere in the country, I'm proud to say I'm from Dallas. It's a glamorous city. It's got so many good things happening. Of course, there are things that could be improved, but Dallas, let's face it, is a thriving community. And no one knows that better than my next guest, Paula Blackmon. She's the Dallas City Councilwoman from District 9. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I want people to know you because as a little girl, you did not grow up in a sprawling metropolis, did you?
I did not. I grew up in the small town of Snyder, Texas, out deep west.
Okay, so as a little girl, did you have any political aspirations? I mean, if you went to a younger you and whispered in your ear and say, hey, you're going to be on the Dallas City Council, would you have laughed?
Kinda. I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
And I was like reading all the medical terms as a young kid. And then when I went to DC, when everybody takes those trips in their 8th grade, I fell in love. And that's when I said, you know what, this is what I want to do. Loved history, loved the way that our government is set up, and the checks and balances and how you work together. And so that's when I graduated from college, and I picked up the phone and got a job working in Austin, and the rest is history.
Wow. As I was doing my homework for this show, I found this amazing video shot in Snyder, Texas. Let's go ahead and roll this video.
Snyder, Texas, to me, is what small town Texas is. You can't walk across the street without somebody knowing. It was very much a communal, collective effort, so everybody's rooting for you. And with that, you feel like you can run off and do anything. Tech just gave me the ability to have a voice because it gave me the foundation of how to break down a complex problem into small bites so that way I could give my bosses or now the general public that I represent why we need to go in this direction. And that's how I started in politics. The election had just happened in 1993, and I got on the phone and started sending my resumes out and calling people and saying, hey, I want to get into politics. Never worked on a campaign, but I think I'm smart enough and I have the abilities to make you successful. And a tech alum jumped on it, and the rest is history. It was an exciting, thrilling, and scary, all wrapped into one. You know, you're walking in the halls of the Texas Capitol, and there's the governor. You're like, I'm in the middle of this. Like, I am creating laws and policies that actually affect people. So I worked for 2 mayors that were consecutively back-to-back, and superintendent and many other elected officials. And I just decided, you know what, I'm ready for my voice to be heard. People ask, what does City Council do? We are the closest form of government to the people. So we are working through just the simplest issues of, I've got a pothole, to complex issues like reforming our ethics code. And there's everything in between. The thing about what COVID taught me is that the stuff that we think that matters, it really doesn't matter when something like people's lives and there's the unknown of what this brings. It doesn't matter. The small stuff that we were dealing with on this issue and that issue went to the back burner when COVID hit, because it was about how do we keep people safe. You know, I'm sitting here in city council making decisions. When I worked for the mayor, I was in the mayor's office, sitting at the table with people that were making decisions, and they were listening to me. And I'm like, why? But you know what? Because of the confidence I had gained at Tech, I felt, why not me? I'm Paula Blackmon, Dallas City Council District 9. In the College of Arts and Sciences, possible starts here.
I love that video. And it's not like you watch it all the time. I mean, as you were watching yourself, I was like watching you watch you.
Well, it was bringing back memories
Yes.
of the COVID times, right?
Yes.
And it was bringing back all the stuff that I have worked on and
Yes.
and all of my accomplishments. And I'm grateful and happy, and I'm proud of myself.
Wow. Okay, when you first announced to your family that you were going to run, what was the reaction?
We were waiting for this. Because all of my kids were brought up in the political world.
Yes.
And so with that, they were waiting for me to have my time. And, you know, they're my biggest champions. And they're also my biggest, the defenders.
Yes.
They're also the ones who tell me, you know, you messed up on this, Mom. And they do it with love and caring. And so that makes me a better person.
I love that.
And so they're good peeps.
Yeah. Okay, you can't tell, but Paula's eyes are getting moist right now when she talks about her family, and I love that. And we should also point out that it's not a volunteer position, but you can't get rich on the city council.
We make about $60,000 per the charter, and it is a full-time job. I wake up in the morning and I go to bed at night, and there's everything in between. And sometimes we get woke up in the middle of the night if there's a shooting. Yes. And so, and we want people to be safe and not feel harmed. And so we want to know these news stories. So sure. It's a hard day some days.
Okay, so we're going to go to some generic video of Dallas, and I think you agree with me. I mean, this is a special place,
so, yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, when I first moved here, I would drive on Woodall Rogers just to see that green building.
Isn't it beautiful?
I'm from Snyder, Texas, right?
Yes.
And we don't have skyscrapers, not even in Lubbock, right?
Yes.
And there was something magical about the skyline that
Yes.
just sent this energy through you that, you know, was pretty darn cool.
And the people are generous here. I tell people who are not from Dallas, if I was in New York, I would have to build trust with someone before they introduced me to all their friends. But here in Dallas, it's like, okay, you're cool, I'm cool. You need to meet all my friends. So there's a trust here. There's just a almost a feeling of abundance.
You know, they open up their home and their heart to you, and you're right. They trust you, and you shouldn't take that for advantage, though. You should actually cherish that.
Yes.
Because it isn't that way across many cities, many parts of our country. But Dallas is different, and they are very warm and welcoming people.
Yes, and one of the things I love about you, Paula, is that you're always challenging the city to be better. And one of the things that we need to be better on is fentanyl.
Right.
Let's talk about that.
So my son, the 27-year-old, he was at Tech, and he had some friends that had, you know, overdosed, and it was a very serious situation. And being an adult, I didn't know what was going on because I just didn't know. And he would text me every week, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You sit in a position of power. Can you talk to the police chief? And then one day I was sitting in a council meeting, and we get alerts when there are deaths in our district. And there was an address that I saw and knew, and it was one of my son's friends. Oh. And it was a very hard morning. I texted the mom immediately. And then about that time, my son got a text to me and said, is it true? He had heard. And that's when I realized, you know what, I have to do something. He's right. And so I started with my colleague, Adam Bazaldua, we co-chair a strike force. It's not time to study anything. We know that this is a harmful drug, and we know it's on our streets. The question is what are we going to do about it as a community, as a government, and as society? And so we worked on getting legislation where we are working together with our DA and our other county officials so that way we can share data.
Yes.
We are looking at how to use settlement money to get people mental health, to get them addiction treatment, to really understand what this drug does. And so we're going to D.C. next week, and we're going to be trying to lobby for fentanyl testing strips to be legalized, because harm reduction is the way that we are going to keep our kids, our families safe.
Sure. I know another area of the town that you're very passionate about is White Rock.
Yes. And during COVID, it was interesting because they had my number, so they would call or text me and say, it's like Mardi Gras out here. People are crazy, because they wanted their open space. And so we are committed to keeping that open space, and we are investing in that open space. We're going through a master planning scenario right now, so that way we can add more things like dog parks, and
Nice.
playground equipment.
Yes.
But we're also looking to maintain the water health, so dredging White Rock Lake. And we have $20 million in the bond.
Yes.
And we're going to be looking again next week to our federal partners to come up with the other $40 million. And it's looking good. Not promising, but they haven't shut the door yet, which is a good thing. And so we're working on that.
I love that. I mean, I think about, when I think about White Rock Lake, I think about the sun setting or the sun rising. It's one of the crown jewels of Dallas.
Well,
isn't
it's
it?
where everybody comes together. It doesn't matter where you're from, what part of town, what part of region. I mean, even the Arboretum attracts international visitors.
Yes.
So it is a place where everybody comes together just to enjoy life. And we need that a little bit more.
Okay, there's a bond election coming up.
There is in May, and there's $20 million for the dredge, as many other projects as well. But the dredging is my project that I've been really focusing on, and keeping the water at a level that's healthy.
Sure.
And keeping the ecosystems that surround it at a healthy place.
Okay, and every city council person is only as good as their team. And I'm not talking about your team at City Hall. I'm talking about your home team. Yeah. Let's show some pictures. And I want you to brag about your family.
Yeah. So I have Aaron is the young man in the white shirt. And he was the one who kept, saying, what fentanyl is something that you need to get around and move the needle on that and get information out. The one next to him is Evan, and he is my 22-year-old, and he is in Ireland playing basketball and going to school, and he has a big game next week, and so he's a little nervous. He was texting me earlier. And then the young man on the far right, the left of me, is Reed, our baby. He's our bonus baby, and he is at University of Arkansas, majoring in psychology. And then my rock star is my husband. He's my secret weapon. He's the one who really gives me my hard truth. And his name is Barry, and I've known him since I was 10. He grew up in Snyder too.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that picture was done after we lost to HP in a basketball game, and the two youngest ones played together on varsity. They went to Woodrow and graduated from there, and our oldest went to Jesuit. Wow. So we have a blessed family.
You do.
And I'm fortunate for that.
And her eyes light up when she talks about her family. So Paula, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts, man. How can people support what you're trying to do?
People need to understand that we do the best we can. We take the information we're given, and we work with our communities to give them what they want. And so, and that could be across any issue. So I ask people to be civil to one another, to love, to be kind. We have a lot of hostility right now. I see it in emails I get. I see it in tweets and we don't need to be that way. And so I hope that this new year, as we're only into March, we still have time that we can just be kind and be considerate and drive the speed limit on our Dallas highways.
That's a great way to end this segment. We're going to end with her City Hall website as well. Go ahead and reach out to her on her social media to get in contact with her. The great Paula Blackmon. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.